so I'm going to go 2 iron. Into wind as well, all downhill. So really it's just about putting a smooth on it, straight down the middle, aim at the bunker down left side of the green. Maybe a bit too far left.
Whoa, it's tight.
Ooh.
Tight.
Don't know about that one.
Tight. Right, I'm going 3 iron. Little bit of a low stinger one. Just because I tend to hit them pretty straight when I hit them a little bit low. Wind's into a little bit, but OB all the way down the right. Now there is OB down the left as well, but I shouldn't have a chance of reaching there, not with this club. So I'm going to aim pretty much straight down the middle, get a little bit closer to it, slightly further back in the stance, weight forward, just keep that club face closed. I don't want this leaking to the right. Even got a club twirl. Lovely. 135 flag, got a blind tee shot, got a blind second shot, sorry. Now I've already picked up on the tallest point of the tree behind the green. That's my aiming point, that's the flag. But I'm actually going to aim ever so slightly to the right of that, just because my ball's on an uphill slope. That should send the ball a little bit to the left, and the wind's a tiny bit off the left as well. It's 135 to the flag, on an upslope as well, so that's going to make the ball go a little bit higher. I'm just going to choke down on a little 9. So I'm aiming ever so slightly right. I'm going to set my shoulders back a little bit, just because I don't want that leading edge digging in too much. Just give it a soft 9. Hold it ever so slightly, but it should be middle of the green. Yeah, take that.
Alright, so 100 yards straight into the sun, so I can't see anything, which is ideal. Wind's a little bit into. Uphill, out the rough. I'm going to go for a little 50, just because it's uphill, so it's going to be adding a little bit of height and loft to the shot anyway. So I'm going to club up with 50 and hit like a little 3/4, but I've got to start it right at the flag to avoid clipping the trees on the left. Start it right. Hopefully the slope doesn't send it too much. It's quite wet and there's a bit of grass in between the ball and the club, so I don't think there's going to be too much spin on it to take it that way. Gripping down a touch, aiming a little bit right. Oh, it clipped the tree. Green. Oh, that'll do. Right then, long putt back up the hill. I'm not gonna lie, I do feel like I've swam the channel a little bit, missing those trees. Just got a little helping nudge off the old oak. So it's back up the hill, a little bit off the left-hand side as well. Gonna line it up maybe probably about a foot to the left. Give it good pace, try and get it all the way there, but I don't really want to race it past. It looks like it kind of runs off the way a bit to the right past the hole, so good roll on it. It's got to go hard. That was not a good putt. Jeez.
Right, bit of a chance here. Slightly uphill to start with, and it gets to about this point and then it starts going back downhill again. Now, what I was talking about on the third, I don't just use my feet to tell me the slope, whether it's right to left. I also use my feet to tell me whether it's going up or downhill. Because even this putt, I think a lot of people would look at this and just assume that it's downhill. But the actual first third of the putt is uphill to about this point. Then it actually flattens out. And then the second third actually goes back downhill. So another great tip, that, just to use your feet. Now, it does take a little bit of practice, but use your feet to tell you what the slope actually is. Now, as it goes downhill, it should start to go more left to right than what it does at the start, especially as it dies down with a little bit of pace. So I'm going to give this a foot to the left and almost treat it like it's a little bit of a flat putt, because the first bit's up, then flat, and then back down again. But obviously I don't want to give it racing past. Pace beat it.
Right then, so we've got about 7 foot to half the hole. There is a little bit of break in it. Feels left foot a little bit above the right. Probably going to give it a ball outside left and nice hole in pace. Just let it maybe sit on the lip for about a minute and then just drop in afterwards. Right, come on. Oh, pace beat it again. Pace beat it. Yeah, first putt was poor, wasn't it, up the hill. I think as well, what scared me on the first putt is it goes a little bit away past the hole, and I didn't really want it to like race it by, whereas in hindsight, it's going away past the hole, so if I leave it 4 foot past, it's an uphill putt coming back up, so it's actually a bit of an easier putt. So for me, you're always going to hold, you're always going to hold an uphill putt a bit easier than a downhill putt, so hindsight's a great thing.
Right, bit of a funky hole this. Got to go over a little bit of a ravine, then it goes sharp, dog leg left to right. Anything around the mark is perfect. Now if you can get one fading around the trees, you get down there onto the flattest bit and you've literally just got a little bit of a flick in. Now I don't know about you, H, but whenever I'm trying to hit a fade off the tee with an iron, I always hit it off the deck. Yeah, with a draw, I like to tee it up a little bit, feel like I can get it slinging a little bit more, but I like to get it going quite sharp, and now especially with this where I can really afford to sling it one, I really want that path to get out to in, leave that club face open, and with a tee I just don't want it landing high off the face. I'd much rather it almost a bottom groove heeler, to be honest. Yeah, definitely that, exactly that. Always weaken my grip a little bit as well, I'm not generally hitting to a target here, just if I can get that lemonade going around the corner, I'm happy. Who are we kidding? We're not Rory McIlroy over here, so let's just hit a fade. Exactly. Like that one. Even a little club twirl in there. Yeah, that's perfect, that.
Right, I'm going same club, little 6. Trying to get a little, like you say, a little lemonade off the deck. Peg it up ever so slightly. And again, for me, hitting that lemonade, I'm just going to put it back in my stance ever so slightly, get it squirting out. It's off the ground, and I'm just feeling like I'm holding that face open. Little umbrella finish over here. Aiming at that big tree, tallest tree. Try and get it sliding. That'll work. Alright, so 117. Wind's down. It's almost like, feels a bit down off the right shoulder actually. Bunker short, flag is cut, back left, tight left. So for me, I'm aiming middle of the green. I'm just going to try and put a tiny bit of draw bias on it. Little 50. Try and knock it down. Some of these. Aiming here, really like in between the 2 yellow markers on the next tee. Tiger line. Finding fairways, finding greens. Right, see if we can knock it down on the green. Pulled it a touch, but get in. Oh my God, it's nearly pitched in the hole. I tell you what, that is why you don't aim at flags.
6 yards. And the smelliest of smelliest shots. 96 yards, downhill. Plays What, high 80s do you reckon? 88? 88, but pin at the back. I don't really want to give it a full wedge because this could have some serious spin, even though I'm slightly out the rough. So I'm going to go with a little bit of a small 54. So yeah, playing about 88. 88, that's take. This is probably a 3/4 58. Now, ball's below my feet and on a downhill lie. So, strike's the most important thing here. You've got to get the strike right. I know I've got a little bit of a smelly lie with grass behind the ball, but I always say when I'm coaching, mould yourself to the slope. I think that's the easiest way of thinking about it. If you always think like that, whenever you're in a situation like this, you know that the ball's below your feet and you're on a downhill lie, so how can I mould myself to the slope? So I try and get my shoulders matching the slope, so I'm going to put a little bit more weight on my front side, on my left side, and I'm going to get that left shoulder a little bit lower as well. Now, a great tip for a shot like this is, because strike is so important, the target sometimes almost becomes secondary. You've got to have some feedback from the ground. So if you're doing practice swings and you're completely missing the ground, you haven't got any feedback. You don't know what it feels like to get underneath that golf ball. So when you have your practice swing, sometimes I won't even look at the target. So that one will be pretty good. That one will be pretty good. That one will be pretty good. So I'm quite happy now with the feedback I've got from making contact with the ball. Now, pins back left, with this being such a tough shot, you know, anywhere within 20 foot, I'm actually quite happy with. So you've got to make distance, obviously, a priority. 88 yards, a small 54 for me. I've moulded myself to the slope. I know what it feels like to get that contact, keep my weight forward, and get underneath that golf ball. Go! Oh, great bounce. Ooh, hard bounce, actually. Good contact, though. I've gone a little bit long. I got a hard bounce off the downslope of that bunker. It was quite unlucky, to be honest. But another little bit of a smelly one here. I've got quite a lush lie, even though it's sat a little bit on top. But from me and the flag, you know, obviously I'd like my first bounce to be on the green, but as soon as it lands on the green, it's going to start running away from me. So you think, right, okay, maybe I can land it short, but landing it short is this kind of uncut fringe that's a little bit damp, to be honest. So I wouldn't really want to land a ball in that because it might just kill it, and then I'll have a downhill right to left for a putt. So ideally, I want to land this on the green. So because I've not got a lot of green to work with, I'm going to have to give this one a little bit of height. So I'm going to move it a little bit forward in my stance. I'm going to open up that club face. And again, I think people overcomplicate this shot. Just hit a normal chip shot how you normally would. Slight change in ball position and slight change in opening that club face up at setup. Should just make that ball just pop up quite nice. I don't really need to worry about the lie because, like I said, it's sat up on top of that grass. Don't overcomplicate it. Just try and hit a normal shot. Savage, that, innit?
So this one's going back up the slope, a bit right to left. It looks like quite a nice one, to be honest. Again, it's just pace. Something I'm sure you'll get sick of me and Tom saying is pace is king for putts. Pace is absolute king. Right, let's see if we can get it right. Oh, it's another bird, yeah. It's another one. It's just world-class golf. Champagne golf, back to 1 under. Bounce back. And I'm pretty much going to aim at the yellow flag on the right-hand side of the green. To be honest, touch a draw on it maybe, but if it stays up the right and gets pin high, I'm pretty happy with that. So just picking that target, small target, little branch behind the flag. Practice swing, feel it. What do I need to do in this swing to hit that shot? Right, come on. maybe a bit too far right side of the green.
Right edge.
Right edge.
Pretty good.
It's safe as houses.
Right, because I'm not quite Tommy the Tank like you, I can't hit a wedge that far. Little short fat lad like me can't do that. So, I'm going to have to go with an easy 9. My 9 goes 150, this is 140, right in between clubs here. Now, with that being a little bit of a smelly pin to a tough target, you don't really want to miss this green. Short, left, back, or right, to be honest. So, I'm just going to aim at the middle of the green here. I know I'm 1 down in the match. Well, you're 1 under, aren't you? I'm level. But there's a little bit of breeze into that's helping me out here. Now, pins favouring the left. I'm just going to favour left side of the left side of the green. Again, not my favourite shot in the world, this. So let's not play with what I'm not very good at. Let's just play a little bit of sensible golf here. Similar shot to yours, isn't it? Yeah, it is. Yeah, maybe short right. I might have took a little bit too far off that. Again, not my shot in the slightest, but I'm not trying to be a hero here.
So, green all slopes a little bit right to left. I'm actually going to play it with a 58. I play pretty much all my shots around the green with a 58, purely because the more loft there is, the ball's going to come off slower, so you've got a bit more control over it. I'm going to try and get it to release a little bit if that flag isn't too in the way. So, feet nice and close together. I'm actually going to close my stance a little bit, hands a bit higher, toe the wedge in. So we're going to take a little bit of loft off it that way. I'm just feeling like I'm going to play a tiny little draw shot. I'm going to brush the back of the club along the floor, try and get it sort of halfway there and start to roll out. Oh, very soft bounce. Very soft bounce.
Unlucky, it's dug in. Chance here, lad. So again, I'm going to walk the length of the putt, obviously not standing on my line. So it was pretty flat up until about this point. Now it goes a little bit uphill, and I'm not sure the camera will be able to pick it up. But my toes have gone a little bit higher like that, so that's telling me that bit there is right to left. And then it flattens itself out here a little bit, and if I just give it one of them, that's pretty flat to even a little bit right to left there. So this bit here is uphill. This bit's a tiny bit uphill, but it's kind of that middle third really, where it goes a little bit uphill and a little bit right to left. Now even near the flag, just looking at it from here, there's a little bit of right to left in that. So the chances of you making this putt are probably what? Less than 2%? Yeah? Even for the big boys out on tour? So all I'm thinking here is just getting this so my next shot is the easiest shot it can possibly be. Now, all the time when I'm coaching, people get to a putt like this and they always ask me, how hard should I hit it? Well, as how hard as you need to hit it. That's how hard. And I always say to people that if I just pass you a golf ball and I told you to just underarm throw it at that, every single time they do it, they literally get it, they look at the hole and just throw it. Because they trust themselves to throw it that far. So it's the same when you're putting. Trust yourself that you're going to get the right distance. It's not about, oh, do I need to have it this way back or this way back? Trust yourself to get it there. Trust yourself to put it on the right pace. Now, I reckon there's a good couple of feet of break in this. I'm going to go 2 foot. There's a little black mark about 2 foot away to the right. So I'm going to aim at that. But now I've got my aim. Aiming's quite irrelevant now, to be honest, because all I'm focused on is that distance control. So yeah, I'm looking at the flag, but I'm more looking at the flag just to gauge that distance. I have to take into account it's a little bit uphill. Now just trust myself to get that right distance. Travel, travel, travel. See, I'll take that. Only 7 out of 10. It's left me a little smelly one, but I'll take that.
Right, so we've got a little kind of just over 20 foot. Didn't hit the chip shot hard enough. To be honest, it's a lot more uphill once you get up here. I probably should have had a little walk up and then thrown it a bit further. Yeah, coulda, woulda, shoulda. Again, it's a little bit off the right. Not an awful lot, I don't think, but there is a tiny bit of movement. There's a little divot sort of on my line that I'm going to aim just right of. Again, lining it up. giving myself somewhere, some sort of reference point to address the golf ball at. And then again, it's about pace, isn't it? Can we hit a good putt and save par? Way too low, wasn't it?
Nice.
Die.
Again, uphill, that should stop the break as much. This is why I hate lining my ball up, because I never do it right first time. Right, that is just outside right edge. So again, all I'm focused on here now is the right pace. If I get the right pace, this should go in. Solid.